get abducted by the crew of the Starship Alpha 2. They're from the planet Q, which, due to a space-time loop, is stuck in 82 and must be rescued. They need our heroes to discuss the latest news and give their reviews of games and movies too. Sure hope you're not confused. We swear this is all true, not just the premise to the Totally Rad Show.
Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Totally Rad Show, episode number 6. I'm Alex Albrecht. Where's Jeff?
Oh, I didn't even realize he wasn't here.
Oh, you can't see across me. Jeff,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Jeffrey Canada!
Oh, hello over
What
there.
the hell is this that you're wearing?
Totally Rad t-shirt, everybody.
Oh my God, in
A
him.
Totally Rad t-shirt.
You guys want to buy one?
Yes, but
Well, you can't.
dang it. That is right,
Not
folks. We have a shirt, but we have not. We just started production on the shirt, so you will be able to buy a shirt shortly. But we really wanted to focus on the shirt because we have another sponsor,
Yes.
which is awesome. We usually don't start with the sponsors, but we thought we'd want to show you the shirt. So we're going to do a competition with GoDaddy.com.
Yep.
So if you go over to GoDaddy.com and register a domain, whatever you think is a rad domain name, you have to register it through GoDaddy, and you have to use the TRS1 as the code. That's
thought it was
TRS.
rad one.
It's not. So there you go. So TRS1, and you will get 10% off
And that's
that domain
O-N-E,
version.
T-R-S-O-N-E.
No, it's TRS and
The
a
number
number
one.
one, an ASCII number 1.
Wow.
Well, hopefully Steve is putting it up on the screen, so
I'm
this
sure
whole
he is.
conversation is moot.
As most of our conversations
As like
are.
most of our conversations. But what we wanted to do to show off, for showing off the shirt, I know everybody's been excited about waiting for the shirts, as have we. So we are going to be doing a contest. We want you to register what you think is the raddest domain name or the raddest concept for a website that has a domain name that you just registered through GoDaddy using the TRS1 code. And every month or so, every other month, we're going to pick the raddest one that we think and send you a shirt.
So at this point, it's like a win it before you can buy it.
Win it
kinda
before
deal.
you can buy it. Bam. At least start entering before you can buy it.
Yeah. So what you want to do is send us
An email.
an email.
Right.
Subject heading.
Subject heading, rad domains.
Yeah.
Oh, no. What would you say? GoRaddy.com.
GoRaddy.com. would be fine.
GoRaddy.com.
Send it to fans at totallyradshow.com. And we'll review all of them. We'll
Yep.
make sure that they use the right
Codesies,
code and
yes.
register the domain. And one lucky winner will
Dude.
get this awesome, brand new, hot off the presses, limited edition, very rare,
It's not awesome.
unbuyable.
It's rad.
All right, movies this
Yes.
week. A big movie. Probably the first big summer release.
blockbuster.
Yeah.
That'd be Spider-Man 3.
Ho!
Hey, zing!
Hello. And how do you feel about it?
Well, we saw it,
Yes.
which was a very
A
important
requirement
point.
for this segment.
We actually got into the press screening, which was very, very cool. It was really good. It was, I think, maybe a little long.
or
maybe?
a lot long.
Or a lot long, maybe. But I enjoyed everything sort of from beginning to end. There was a couple I thought the action sequences were some of the best action sequences of all three of the films. The way that they were able to sort of capture the action sequences was much more realistic and intense for me. You know what I mean? Like when the first sort of, action sequence, it's so like jarring the way that they do it, and it's really cool. And I mean, the CGI is still CGI, and I mean, we're still years away from actually buying that those are the people. You know what I mean? But you let that go. I mean, I let that go after Spider-Man 1. You know what I mean? Although I never let it go for Daredevil. Just saying. Anyway, yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I like the concept. I did not think that they put too many villains in. That was one of my big worries, was that there were going to be too many villains, because, there was like Sandman and Venom and maybe others, and Green Goblin and stuff like that. And so I was like, is it going to be too many villains, But for me, it wasn't. It was a nice mix. And I actually dug the sort of Peter Parker as Venom part of it, which was really cool because I didn't. Although I could have done without this moment.
Well, that's evil hair.
Right. I mean, I would have much rather it had been that happened in the moment, and instead of putting it back,
Like
he just
him
left
putting
it
on
there.
the costume or taking the hat off made his hair.
Right.
Taking the
Yeah.
mask off. Made it
Right.
happen.
And
I was thinking
then
the same thing.
yeah, rather than but that was just the one moment, and then the whole time he was with like the makeup and all that stuff, and it makes the poster make more sense because I was like, why does he look all weird in the poster and then that? And I was like, oh, because he's got the gooby on him, which is awesome. But I actually I enjoyed it. I think it's probably going to be a huge box office success.
Well, it doesn't have anything to do with how good it is.
Right? No, it doesn't. But
Doesn't.
and I was super excited
Ghost
that they
Rider, I can
gave
tell.
my buddy Ted
Wild Hogs.
and Bruce Campbell bigger cameo roles. Because I thought the Bruce Campbell role, this was the funniest. That
Bruce
Campbell, it
Bruce
was the best
Campbell
moment.
thing.
His
Should
money
we talk
in the
about that right
bank.
now?
Sure.
Bruce
Dude.
Campbell sequence in this movie
Off the charts.
Off
off
the charts.
And
Way.
I would say too, like, this is a scene that we've seen before. This kind of a scene.
Yeah.
Sure.
Even Fresh Bueller's Day Off has that
Sure,
famous
sure.
scene, exact same kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there's something about, and I'm going to steal what you said about Kurt Russell. That man is a fucking movie star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's something in that the way he is, like, just makes it. There's a
captivating,
weird,
yeah.
weird tone of like, he's not not playing it straight. You know, I don't
Yeah.
know. how
Almost
to
winking to the audience.
It's almost winking to the
But
audience.
without being hammy.
Yeah,
Which
it's
was
like,
really
well,
because I kept
no,
waiting for him to
but-
go like super because he can be really hammy.
Yes,
I mean, it's Bruce Campbell.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But when he plays that subtle, it's like the
Yeah.
Old Spice commercials. He plays it subtle, but clearly it's
Yes.
a gag, but it's not a hammy bit.
yes,
Right.
which is fantastic.
Dude, and the crowd,
not the easiest.
dude, and when
Yeah.
they did this whole thing where he like snapped and zoomed, and it was just his hand, and everybody went apeshit because they knew it was the Bruce Campbell,
Yeah,
spot,
yeah.
which was awesome.
What did you think of?
Well, I think, first of all, it says something that the thing we're talking most about is a Bruce Campbell cameo in a Spider-Man movie. First of all. Let me also say at this outset, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I'm a huge comic
Yeah.
book guy. Spider-Man's always been my favorite comic book character.
Yep.
I empathize with it since I was a little kid. Huge.
And what did you think
Okay.
of the first two movies?
I feel that the third movie, I feel the same way about the third movie I felt about the first two movies, which is almost what I wanted to see. I feel like the first 2/3 is great, and it all falls apart in the last act. And I felt that about the first two movies too. I felt like the first two movies were great for the first 2/3, and they totally fell apart in the last act. And I think that happens again here. I disagree with you. I think there are too many villains. I don't think we need Venom. I think we shortchange Venom in the movie. I don't think we do Venom justice. And it's going to be. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to go into
Right.
spoilers.
It's
but
tough.
the way Sandman is so amazingly set up in this movie. The
Yeah.
sequence where we see him.
Yeah, created
Incredible.
is unbelievable.
It's
What a
The
great.
I was going to say it's some of the best CGI I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
And it was so.
And they give
like,
emotion.
You empathize with it. Yeah. Oh my God. When he's
What a-
trying to
yeah.
start to walk for the first time, and he's sort of like failing at it. It was amazing.
For people who talk about, you brought this up, but I know you didn't mean it like this last week about puppetry,
Yeah.
and how it was so
Muppetry,
much
I think it's
easier.
called.
Muppet Babies ish.
Yeah. No, that's animated. But keep going.
How it was so much easier to relate to Yoda the puppet than the CG Yoda.
Yes.
Or something, you know,
Yes.
this is like they really
nailed
made
it.
a character. I guess
Yeah.
Gollum did that too, but like.
Yeah.
and then
But this is such not even a character. The forming of the character is
Yeah.
just really
amazing.
sad and interesting scene.
Yeah, and then we get to the point where he's defeated early on.
Yeah.
And I thought, I was sitting there thinking to myself, this is going to be so awesome if they have the guts to have him be the first act villain, and we never see him again. He's defeated, and he doesn't come back. I
That's
was like, that would
interesting.
be so badass.
Yeah.
Because that's very comic booky. It's very like, we don't need this character anymore because we've got other characters. But of course they do bring him back. And the way that Sandman comes back and he's the big menace at the end, the way he fights him, I thought was totally lame. And it really bugged me. And I felt like the whole way that we get, I don't want to spoil anything. I don't.
Yeah.
The big climactic battle.
Yes.
Doesn't live up to the very first battle or this. You're right. The action sequences are amazing. The first action sequence
With
we
the
get
Bruce Dallas Howard one.
Oh,
She's
it's
the
amazing.
mom?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But even the first one, when Peter Parker isn't even in the Spider-Man costume.
Yeah.
That is, to me, I was on the edge of my seat. I loved it. It's shot how I always imagined comic book scene.
Right.
I mean, the way that they fight through the streets and in the air, and it's spectacular.
Yeah, agreed.
But I didn't think the end lived up to that, and I had the same problem with Casino Royale, where the first action sequence is the best one in the movie, and you have to work up to the best.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I think the action sequence at the end was not all that great. It was a little bit more scenes that were completing the stories while action was happening than just a set piece.
Right.
And like, because the crane set piece, I mean, like, I thought that the opening set piece was amazing with the, Peter as Peter fighting, which was awesome. And then I thought the set piece with the crane took it a step further, which was
spectacular.
amazing.
Yeah. Amazing and spectacular.
That's awesome.
Spider-Man.
Sorry. But then to tell you the truth, I liked when Peter was Venom fighting the Green Goblin.
Oh.
That to me was also really cool. I mean, I actually enjoyed the downtime. Sometimes in these movies, and I disagree with you. I thought Spider-Man 1 blew me away. I thought it was everything I'd wanted in a superhero movie that had never been able to be given to me since Michael Keaton was the original Batman. But
I agree with
Let me
that.
just say one real fast.
Yeah.
The where the movie falls apart for me is that cafe scene. There's a scene in a nightclub, I should say, not cafe, a nightclub,
I was gonna get there.
where Peter.
yeah, you didn't dig that?
That was
abhorred that scene.
It was The Mask.
That was the most.
It was Jim
bizarre-
Carrey in The Mask.
Midway through the movie,
It's funny.
there is a moment. Let me just say that I.
Yeah, what did you think
I
of the
didn't
movie,
really.
Dan?
I was.
Hey, welcome here, Dan.
Yeah. I was really just kind of with it.
Yeah.
I loved the first Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing. I loved. I thought it was. I think it might be my favorite superhero movie.
Batman
Yeah.
Begins?
Well,
Oh yeah, you're right. This was before Batman Begins, so at the
Right.
time it was
Okay.
my favorite.
Yeah, agreed.
More than Superman and more
Right.
than Batman. The originals.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man 2, I loved the action sequences in Spider-Man
Right.
2. To me,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were the fucking tits.
Tits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could use a word that I never use.
What?
So I used it once the other day. I never use that word because it's not an East Coast word.
touch.
Or touch.
Or touch? Touch tits?
It's thing.
That's funny. Okay, keep going.
So, the opening action sequence I found very hard to get into because when they're human fighting, the CG really shows itself, like that Matrix scene where,
Right.
like,
Oh,
I can't,
well,
I'm out.
Come on. Yeah, but
I
it was
can't-
nowhere near as bad as that
I don't know,
Matrix
dude.
scene.
When I'm seeing
You're
Peter
talking
Parker,
about the burly fight.
it looked the burly fight. It looked like a cutscene in Spider-Man the video game, the opening action sequence, until he gets the costume, and then start to get more
Right.
into it. And I wanted to get into it in the alleyways and stuff. I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
And like a trench,
Yeah.
fight sequence, flying sequence.
The
But
way that ended.
that was cool. Yeah, it
the
got
whole
cool
thing
towards the end, but the beginning
Yeah.
I was very outside and I just put off
Okay.
and nervous. However, then the action sequences, the one Bryce I started cool.
Yeah.
There was cool stuff with the black vet and fighting Sandman, cool, but nothing to me in this movie touches any of the action sequences in Spider-Man 2, specifically the train sequence in Spider-Man 2. It might be one of my favorite
Yeah.
action sequences in a movie. I mean,
Really?
to me, the train sequence, there's
Yeah.
a bit in there that is like 8 million awesome things. Like he's like, the beam comes, he's got flip, and then the slide, and then in every moment, and that changes,
Yeah.
ooh. It's like this, like, fucking.
Plus,
That's
it
how I
ends
felt about
epic.
the-
And it's like great.
That's how I felt about the first
there was
one, too.
nothing.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah, me too.
That's how I felt.
A little bit, but not. There's
Oh,
something
dude, there was
very.
so much stuff. He was like spraying big chunks of cement and throwing them over his
Yeah.
Falling
shoulder.
on them while they were falling.
Dude,
But
that's-
all that kind of stuff already sort of happened for me in the second one. The second one also, there's a bank robbery scene that's like, and they're very musical, and there's a way
Yeah.
that these movies that actually
Well,
all
one of the
Sam
things-
Raimi movies are edited very rhythmically and musically.
Yeah.
I mean, the Evil Dead, the first one with the sound
Yeah.
effects, and
Yeah.
that's the second Spider-Man movie that actually had that. This started to get a little redundant for me. I felt like we had seen this kind of thing already. It was kind of cool, but came nowhere near to. Okay, that being said,
What did you guys think of
The-
the intro credit sequence? I thought that was genius.
Awesome.
They basically did like a shot-by-shot recap of Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2 while they were running the opening credits, but I totally bought it. It was not too
You know
much.
what it reminded me of, and this may not resonate for you guys,
Yeah.
but in
Dark
the
Crystal.
Ultimate books, in the Marvel's Ultimate line,
Yeah.
they start with a page of recapping story up till now,
Yeah.
which they never used to do in comics, but it reminded me of that same
Yeah.
concept.
I love it.
That was great, but go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I want to make
it's
sure
cool.
that got out.
Okay, so the midway through the movie was feeling long to me, and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is long, but what? I was actually thinking, what could have gone here? What could have been, cut out?
Venom.
And then all of a sudden, that scene where Peter turns dark,
Yeah.
and he's dancing
Oh, it's
down
horrible.
the street, and then he goes in the cafe.
Dude, I loved Peter dancing down the street.
No, dancing
talking
in
to
the street I didn't
chicks.
have a problem with.
Trying to
there was
pick up on the
something-
girls. I was like,
it's
I love that.
It was like okay, then it turned into
Because it's
like,
so what
when
I
you-
want Peter to do.
Well, the
You
fact
know
that
what I
he's
mean?
still
Yeah,
a
but
nerd
it's
in that
very-
moment,
Right, yeah,
is-
well,
that's
that's
cool.
true, too.
The
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
that he does right, Raimi, is that there's something great about the Spider-Man movies. It has this tone that's very comic book.
Yeah.
That you're watching it with comic book logic. There's a moment in the beginning where the kids are looking at Spider-Man on the video screen.
yeah.
It's a very posed comic booky. It's very simple.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of depth to it, and you're not.
There's
You
a great-
don't hold that against
And it was a
it.
great Stan Lee cameo in this.
Yes.
Yeah,
Much better than the others. Because sometimes it's like, why are you...
it was a little forced this time.
It's cool.
yeah,
It's kitschy. That's
Yeah.
kind of the tone that's cool. And I would say what's great about is that even the serious stuff, the scenes between him and Mary Jane, and in all the earlier films, and this film, he does a really good job of it being more than. All of a sudden, there is a deceptively simple depth to it.
Yeah, right.
I hear you on
Which
that.
I like, but when you think about what story was being told
Yeah.
in that nightclub scene with the
was-
dancing,
Yeah.
why tell that piece of story that way? It was this really. Now I will say, it felt to me, it reminded me of. I was thinking about why was that choice made, and blah blah blah, and I'm
Right.
thinking about Army of Darkness, and there's that Three Stooges
Yes.
moment, Army of
Well,
Darkness.
but tonally, those movies don't compare.
Right. And I think about the Bruce Campbell scene in this one. So obviously there's a love for vaudevillian Marx
Sure.
Brothers.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
But this scene in this, and those scenes work in that movie, in
Yeah.
Army of
It sticks out like a sore thumb.
It is. It could have been a short film, and
It's
in a
so
long
bad.
in a long movie. The movie's
Exactly.
already long, and you want me to stick with it and feel, dude, and it just came from
I turned to you
nowhere.
at that moment and I said, God, I hope this is a dream sequence.
I
Like
didn't
he's
hear you
just
say
dreaming.
that,
that.
but I probably was thinking that.
It's so
I didn't think
bad.
it was that horrible. I thought it was what I would do if I was pissed off and
Had
evil
superpowers
Fuck
and didn't
yeah.
care if anybody knew
Dude,
it.
Fuck yeah.
And then he
I
gets
would go
really
into a bar,
violent.
I
It
would
feels
kick some-
uncomfortable.
Dude,
Okay.
but that's the whole point. That is the whole point, is that he gets to a point where he is extremely violent. He's
No, I get
totally
that.
volatile. He's not concerned about showing his powers. He's a total cocksucker at the time. I mean, that is why that scene is in the movie.
I get that.
Is to
Yeah,
push
but
him
what
to
you're
the farther
saying,
level.
I wouldn't. What you just said, I could think of way more interesting ways to articulate
Exactly.
that than
Yeah,
a
but
dance number.
dude, when he and
That's like
also
funk-
you may
it's
not
like-
have thought it was super cool, but when he walked in and got that waitress to give him a table, I was like, that is a fucking badass moment.
Well,
That
but
was for me.
I agree with you
That's
there.
me,
But
'cause I wish
and
I
I
could do
and I
that.
actually liked up until that when he
'Cause it was also
thinks
very
he's cool
20s or
and he's
like
not.
30s or something. Yeah.
So,
bad.
Anyway,
also want to say too on the villains thing. Yeah, Venom felt like it kind of happened in the end and then ended in the end. Like
Yeah.
he was introduced and gone in
I'm
the
sure
third
he's-
act.
Raimi has said he
And-
doesn't care for that character, and I kind of believe it by watching this movie. That he never liked Venom.
well, I know he said that every time that they. Well, I shouldn't say, but yeah, I don't think he.
And and Sandman, I like when he popped back in at the end of the film. I was like, oh yeah, Sandman. Like I totally forgot that he was in the movie, and
I
I
didn't.
think that relates to what you're
Because
saying.
I thought Tom and Hayden,
The
Thomas
other-
Hayden Church did a great job.
Oh, he was
He did.
awesome.
I thought everybody did a great job.
But how he's defeated is horrible.
And then-
that big
Well, he's-
giant Sandman.
well,
I
Anyway,
just
go
think
ahead.
that the story, the villains related to the story, much better in the first two, and they tried to incorporate Sandman. And I don't know, it didn't really.
it definitely
felt disjointed
connected
to
with me way more than you
Yeah.
two.
Can you
Which I
speak
think
for
is
1
gonna
second?
happen a lot.
Can you speak really quickly about the score? Because I'm really curious to hear what you think of it.
Oh, right.
yeah.
So they got a new guy. I mean, based on original themes by Danny Elfman, but
Right.
Christopher Young scored it. He does a lot of horror movies. I can't recollect one that I can mention to you. I just know that every time I see his name, I'm like, oh, I've never really liked him.
Yeah.
But the score to me, yeah, there's something very heroic about the first. I own the first two movie scores.
Right.
This one, there was no. I didn't.
Did you think it was a little on the nose?
Yeah, it was just, and it was just sort of. And this is the thing. There's just actually in the Kevin Smith, we had on my old show we had a thing with Kevin Smith, and he said you couldn't really tell me the Spider-Man theme. We were talking about Danny Elfman scores,
Right,
or whatever.
yeah.
And I was like, even though I couldn't perform it for you right now, when the beginning of the movie starts, using that when the
Right.
intro,
Yeah, yeah.
you
it's
feel the
Spider-Man.
Danny, you're like, oh yeah, this is that
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man.
right,
and
yeah,
something
yeah.
feels cool about it. And the rest of the movie that doesn't really come back, and I really wish that I had those Danny Elfman score, the theme stuff happening throughout. And it wasn't.
So it seems like it's a lukewarm. Go see it.
I think we agree it's going to make a shit ton of money.
Of course.
And
But
I
you're
think
right.
it's a worthwhile viewing experience. It's fun, but it's not what it could have been, I think, for me.
Well,
I
maybe
concur.
they'll do it in episode 4.
Bam.
All right. Well, it's that time again. It's TV time in the
love
land of
TV
rad. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Heroes is back
Whew!
with some vengeance. Literally. You like that? Back with vengeance. I just made that up. Siler. Peter Petrelli.
So maybe we
So
should say a
Heroes.
little spoiler warning for...
Well, spoiler if you haven't seen the last episode of Heroes, but hopefully you all have.
Can I say something in general though?
Well, that's what we're going to get into.
Oh, okay.
Dansky over here has not seen Heroes. So we put him in a chair, peeled his eyelids open.
yeah, like... what's his
Sounds of the
name?
Lambs. No,
Clockwork
Clockwork
Orange.
Orange.
Yeah.
We
Who's in Heroes?
yes, he is.
Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell, but he's
And
also
Al.
in
And Wing Commander.
everything.
One of the
He's
Wing
in-
Commanders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man likes a paycheck.
Yeah.
Well, smart man. But anyway, so he had not actually seen them. I think you had seen like the first episode. And
Saw the
didn't
first
dig
three.
on it.
I saw the first three, and I hated.
Right.
Yes.
So we forced him
Wow.
with eyes ablazing to watch it. So what's your overall feeling of the
Right.
show now? Because Jeff and I are like in like
Yeah.
Flynn, baby.
Overall,
Me too.
I
Yes, me too.
really like it.
Good.
Really like it.
Dude, yes.
I mean, I'm so close to loving it.
Dude,
Wait,
right?
wait, what?
Let me-
So you really like it, but you don't love it?
I like.
What he hated the first three. Let's be happy that
the
he
only
loves
reason
that
why
he
I
likes
don't
it.
love it is that I have to reserve the love for those shows that I've already expressed, and I would
There's
feel
not enough
redundant.
love in your
Oh
heart?
my god.
No, because here's the thing.
So you just like to bang heroes?
No, I like to fucking run.
You have a pie chart of love that you can like. divvy out?
It's just that to me, there's still an element that Heroes is. Here's why I didn't
Oh, by
like
the way, Steve's putting up the pie chart of love right now.
It's got Care Bears on it.
He's taking notes. Pie chart of love.
Yeah, somebody needs to build a pie chart of love.
What I hated in the beginning, it started out so conventional to me. It started out so like they did the things that were they're just gonna have the guy fly, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was a slow burn into it ain't what you thought it was.
It ain't your mom's
which is great.
crazy people with
so
powers.
that's right. I will say too, the tone of the show. What we were talking about earlier about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I've always thought they were gonna do this realistic show with superheroes, and
You mean you wanted it to be more gritty?
Yeah.
You had said that in the first couple of
I
episodes.
wanted to be more gritty, and I think I realized that they really are doing a comic book
right
thing, and it
Yeah.
just happens to take place in the real world,
Right.
as opposed to real world. It's comic book in the real world, as opposed to real world
opposed to
superheroes. in it.
Unbreakable.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
The dialogue is very
Yeah,
but the thing I would say is that like Raimi, the filmmaking in Spider-Man really lets you buy into the simplicity of some of the dialogue. And in here, it was a little bit awkward for me, specifically at first. And once I started to fall in love with the story,
Yeah.
and the story elements are phenomenal. The fact that like the kid who's a nurse, he doesn't really think about himself. He cares about everyone else. He puts everyone else in front of him. His power is, binding with other people's. Is that he?
Which is very comic book logic.
Right. Exactly. I love that.
I forgot that Peter Petrelli was a nurse at any point in the movie. So
Yeah.
I was like, who's that nurse? And I said it in the voice.
I will say the father of Claire Bennett.
yeah.
I think they cast him to be the creepy menace guy, and then all of a sudden, and I kind of felt where that was going to go, but First of all, the mother, I could never see him being married to that woman.
Right,
That does
right.
not. To me, he is playing that totally 2D, and I thought that would have been so much more dynamic and interesting if from the get-go I felt like he could be married to that woman,
Right,
and
yeah.
he was her
And there
father,
was
and there was a
some
care there,
conflict,
but he was
right.
being evil, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck's going on?
Well,
As
but
opposed
you
to just
didn't-
evil
you,
guy.
Yeah, but you didn't reveal the conflict. You thought that she was literally a prop. I think that was the point. You know what I mean? That she was just a prop in his fake life to raise Claire.
Right, so they
But-
cast him for the trick, not
right.
for the real character, which
yeah.
bothers me. And the dude, DL, Ali Larder's husband.
The whole Ali Larder, I could get rid of that whole concept.
Totally agree.
I think
She's the Incredible Hulk.
I think a lot of people agree. I don't buy it. If
But
he
he's
got
a-
big and green, I'd be like, all right, I'm behind this.
But
But
and
she's
I
just
just want
like,
to say,
I get cool and stabby. Like what?
I hate he was in Buffy too, and he was very campy in Buffy, but
Yeah.
felt okay because Buffy was very campy.
campy, yeah.
In this,
Who is he in
he's
Buffy?
not tough. He's one of the frat dudes who's Riley's partners in season 4 of Buffy.
I don't think I saw that.
Anyway, that's my overall. I'm loving it. So if you guys
Okay,
have any
good.
specifics,
So now
loving.
let's
liking
talk
very much.
liking very much and having lots of sex with. So now let's talk about the latest episode. It was what 4 weeks off,
Something like that. Yeah.
something like that. Long time. It ended. The cliffhanger was Siler cutting Peter Petrelli's skull open.
yes.
Right.
And
Of course, we kind of knew that, right?
of course
yeah.
we did.
Yeah.
So take it.
Well, I'm a huge fan of the show.
Yeah.
Love Heroes. It's the thing that ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to see on TV, and the fact that
Right.
it's actually a hit.
I know.
Awesome.
No, I know.
So, the superhero battle
Yes.
between Peter Petrelli and Sylar.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wish
Yeah.
it was more. I know they're kind of saving that, I think,
Right.
for the season finale.
course.
But the idea that they're actually willing to go there and do powers versus powers superhero battles.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Very upset that what's his name, the Indian fella,
Suresh.
Mohinder. Very upset he's not dead. Very upset about that.
Really? Why? He's the
I
only
think he's
non.
a horrible actor.
Yeah, he's-
I don't
I
think he's
hate
horrible,
saying that
but-
about anybody, but every time he's on,
This is why I don't love the show. There's
Yeah.
these
It's
flaws.
uneven.
There's flaws.
Right.
There are flaws.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
Uneven
not,
isn't
yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I knew that he couldn't be killed. You know what I mean? I actually dug that. Well, I guess you didn't really see him die. Yeah, I knew that you couldn't kill him. He's like the guy. He's like the science guy.
He's also
like,
narrating the series.
Yeah, he really is narrating the series. So.
But
And-
they killed the guy on Oz who narrated the series.
And Desperate Housewives, which I may or may not have watched ever.
Please don't say things like that in this room.
Oh God, I really hate that show.
Oh God, no. That's like the bane
We're
of
not
my
going
existence.
there. Go ahead.
But anyway, no. But I actually, I enjoyed it. What did you think of the sort of family drama in the Petrelli household?
Oh, I like I'm dying to know what the grandma does.
Yeah, she's
Me
awesome.
too.
Yeah.
The actor's awesome.
And that
too.
finally
Yeah.
paid off because I didn't like her in the beginning of the series. She's one of the things that's like the stereotypical, you know. But
Yeah,
now it's paying off. I
The
wish I
old
didn't.
school Jackie O.
Yeah,
character.
exactly.
Yeah,
It really annoyed me. But props to them for fucking,
Yeah.
letting that be that slow burn.
Right. And I
Yeah.
also want to say that the thing that's great about the show is that clearly they recognize that stuff needs to happen
Yes.
and mysteries need to be solved, unlike Lost,
Well,
which
they-
I have stopped
That's-
watching.
They literally walked in the room when
wanted
was
to
it
say
Tim Carver or Tim
Crane, the creator.
Crane? Yeah, he literally walked in the room and said, "I want to make a show that is the anti-Lost,
Which-
that answers questions and continues to ask questions so that people keep watching, but answers a question every episode at least."
awesome.
The show really is brilliant serial storytelling.
Yes,
The
agreed.
fact that
Not as much as The Shield, which is
right.
the best
All right,
show
TV
ever
talk.
made.
but like,
the best serialized show.
All right,
dude,
but we're back to the hero.
the fact that there's this character that paints the future.
Yeah.
And when you can see a shot of one of the paintings and it's a dude holding a samurai sword and a dinosaur, you're like, I'm gonna see that
Right.
at some
Oh, yeah.
point.
Yes.
What a great way.
Right.
Also, I want to
It
say,
doesn't even have to be a cliffhanger. That could
Right,
just be a
no.
little nugget
and
in
it
there.
was. It
and
wasn't
you're
a
like,
cliffhanger.
exactly.
That was just a total nugget.
sorry, just about the paintings.
Yes.
I found out that little bit of inside information that people may not know
Tim
about.
Sale.
Tim Sale does the paintings, but now that guy is dead and Sylar did the painting,
Yeah.
Alex Maleev did the painting for the Siler painting.
Oh, Alex Maleev does.
Who's that?
He used to do Daredevil with Bendis.
Oh, he does the one that you gave
Wow.
the
yeah,
Underboss.
and that whole run.
That's
He's
really
awesome
cool.
artist.
That's why
but
it's like, oh, okay, yeah. It's
it's different, stylistically
Totally,
different. Which
it's
I thought was
darker.
So
Yeah,
awesome.
and we already told people that if you haven't seen it, don't want us talking about it, right? Because that's one of the things I wanted to say was I love the fact that they killed off that character.
And they're willing to kill off characters.
Right, because I think that's a real big key because it's such an ensemble piece. It's so about all these different characters, how they interact, how their lives interact.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting to see what happens with Hero. I love that it was like episode 4 or 5 that we saw Future Hero.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
For the first time, and I love that we keep seeing Future Hero, and Future Hero is like
He's kind of one of the best stories.
Well,
I'll tell you what
Hero
clicked
is-
for me.
Yeah,
Him and Charlie, the waitress.
Yes.
That's when it turned into.
Yeah.
I like this show. That was the turning point for me. I was like, oh, I'm in. I'm
yeah.
in.
When he goes back and then he can't stay.
Yeah, but I love the scene between him and her, and then
Yeah.
she's killed, and I wanted.
Yeah.
I saw them together. Like I saw it
No, I
working,
know. Yeah,
and then
yeah.
the picture thing was
Yeah,
nuts.
no, it was
All right.
epic.
We love it.
Yes.
Moving on.
So
Dan locked on to something which we can not explain except to say, really, why did you watch that, Dan? And then, thank you, Dan. And that is a very interesting Japanese animated series.
It's not Japanese, it's
Japanese.
American.
Well, it's American making
Nickelodeon show.
Japanese type writing called Avatar.
The Last
So,
Airbender.
so now the last Realbender. Now I'm gonna let Dan explain the concept of the show because he is Mr. Show.
Okay, my girlfriend and her sister, they adore the show Avatar, and I was like,
Is that how you got turned on to it?
that's how I got turned on to it.
Oh.
And
Makes
they
more
also watch
sense.
Hello Kitty, and I'm like,
Sure.
I just dismissed it as one of those things, and I started watching it. Actually, you know what? I didn't even start watching it. I was gonna get her the DVDs, it's just to be nice, and I was
Not 'cause
thinking,
I
I
like
looked
her,
at the
just to be
DVDs,
nice.
and I was like, you know what? I have something about it. I
Yeah.
sensed something. So this could be cool. So I watched fucking
Tell us what it is.
first couple. Okay, so Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Airbender.
created by two American guys
Right.
Yeah.
who love kung fu movies,
Yeah.
and they were writers on Futurama, King of the Hill,
Oh.
and Family Guy.
Wow.
And they created this series about ancient Japan, or
No,
not
it's
even
it's
ancient feudal
Area.
Asia.
Right.
Fantasy
and there's a
Fantasy setting.
there's a
Generic
Fire
Asian
Nation.
fantasy.
The world was once Fire Nation, Water Nation, Earth Nation, and Air Nation. And the Avatar has the powers of, and each nation has their own, like, you have water bending and water bending you manipulate water, and earth you manipulate earth, and whatever. And the Avatar unites all those nations, and he has the powers of all those
To keep the balance.
to keep the
check.
balance.
Right.
So there's some Star Warsiness happening when the last Avatar dies or is gone missing, and Fire Nation is now taking over all of them, as it would be. It's
100 Years of War.
It's the more right.
100 Years of Fire.
And now the Avatar, who was like a 13-year-old kid, 12-year-old kid, comes back to in existence, and he's now on a mission to learn all the different powers, all the different
so the kid
bending.
in the
Aang.
ice is the Avatar guy?
The king in the ice
Yeah.
is Aang, and all he knows is airbending.
Okay.
So now he's on a mission with two R2D2 C3PO like characters.
The waterbending
the
chicken
waterbending
guy.
chick,
Okay.
who's Anne from Arrested Development does the voice.
Who?
George Michael's love interest.
Okay.
Anhog,
I-
don't be an
I didn't
Anhog.
watch.
Anyway, so they're on this mission with their flying bison Appa, which is the animation, which is done in a Korean animation studio, is very Miyazaki.
Yeah.
It's fantastic animation.
And it's
Yeah.
mind blowing that it would be.
for on a budget.
Let me just
Very
say,
Miyazaki.
like, and you would think it's for kids.
Yeah.
It starts off a little bit more for kids the first couple episodes,
Yeah.
and then it's like, first of all, they're using words like the studio's aloof. Like obviously they're like they don't need to
Playing
cater
up,
to the
right.
kids. Like it's hysterical. There's some really genuinely funny fucking moments, which given the writer's back,
Right.
story is.
So you
logical.
clearly loved it.
And the action, let me
Yeah.
just say too, one of the most awesome, badass, the episode with the ninja dude,
Blue Spirit.
Blue Spirit, amazing. Anyway, sorry. Jeff.
So Jeff, you got to see a couple episodes.
I've seen the whole first season.
Wow.
I'm sitting here as you're talking,
Yeah.
freaking out because I can't wait to effuse about how much I love this show. It is so awesome. And the thing is, I can't believe that we all didn't know about it before because it's a
Right.
huge hit. It's a huge hit among certain
Well, it's a
age
huge hit
groups.
in
And
Nickelodeon.
M. Night Shyamalan
Shyamalan.
Ding Dong is
Yeah.
doing the live action trilogy.
Well, he owns the. I mean, he'll probably produce it.
Steve doesn't like that. I think that's awesome. No, he's writing and directing.
Well, we'll see.
No.
It's not first on his docket.
No, he is.
Whenever something's not first on the docket of the director, he's doing something right now, right? I mean, and he also had.
Dude, I
like,
read an interview with the two creators of
Okay.
Avatar because I wanted
But
to
you
find
loved
out
it.
when season 3 is coming out. Season 3 is the last season.
Oh.
And it's tying everything up, and they promise an epic battle at the end.
Oh my God.
All right.
Dude, he's so right about the battles, how the choreography of the battles is fantastic and amazing, and they shoot it like you want it to be shot with wide shots.
Yeah.
And every single episode of the show has a spectacular action sequence.
And there's in each episode, the story is like, and things get called back. Steve was telling me about the cabbage. There's a guy who they bump into, like, who's selling cabbage, and they like
Yeah.
run through. And then 2 episodes later, he's selling cabbage in like
Yeah.
another village. Like
Yeah.
so,
It's
yeah,
a great
Well,
show.
I'm going to say that I actually completely disagree. I'm just kidding. I totally didn't see it. I tried desperately
you
to
didn't
watch
see it.
iTunes fucked me. iTunes bent me over a table and right in the pooper.
Steve Jobs with his turtleneck.
Dude, he did, seriously, because I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to find this thing, and I went to like a friend's going away party last night, and I was like, I want to watch at least the first episode because I was like, I have to at least see the first episode of this show. Went home, I was like, I can't, I have no time. I'm buying this episode, and it wouldn't fucking play. It wouldn't. I'm
you
sitting
paid
there,
for it and downloaded
paid for
it?
downloaded it. I started playing it as soon as it would like let me start playing it, and then it would like. The audio would continue to play, but then the screen would stop, like freeze in a moment. And I don't know about you guys.
What version of iTunes do you have? You ever watch it on Vista, right?
No. I was watching it over at my girlfriend's house on XP, and it was the newest version. I mean, it was like it should not have happened. And then I was like halfway through, I was like, I can't. I mean, you can't watch this. It's so visual.
Oh yeah.
And I really do, like the first couple minutes, like it was. I was like, wow, I'm really into this. Is really cool. I see what they mean. Shot so great. I mean, it's so the Princess Mononoke kind of thing.
Miyazaki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like that kind of, and I was like, I'm in. And then it was like freeze frame talking, and I'm like, is this a choice? And then I waited, rebooted the whole 9 yards, and I couldn't fucking watch it. And I said, you know what? I'm just gonna get on there and be like, fuck Apple.
Well, you just
I
did.
love the series Fuck Apple. And no quotes, no little Alex is wrong
Apple
bullshit.
FTW.
That's wrong. Or wherever he's moving it to. Fuck Apple. But anyway, I really want to see the show.
Oh,
I
dude.
desperately want to
You
see it. I'm
guys,
going to buy the DVD.
everyone out there, Avatar. The
Last
last, I
Airbender.
promise, it's a joy. Let's make it our own.
Yes.
Tell your friends.
It's coming back. They
we
haven't
have to
said
do
when
it.
it's
We have
coming
to
back.
do it. It's gonna. People are gonna
Avatar's
die.
rad.
Avatar.
Don't judge me right away, and just wait till I explain the whole story.
Okay, but the pants are staying on.
But the pants staying on. I went to Target with the girlfriend recently, and sitting on a discount situation where these Game Boy games,
Okay.
$3.48
Okay.
for 3 Game Boy games. Pokemon, whatever, fuck that. Zelda, the Minish Cap, Mario Party Advance, and there's
The
like
Minish Cap.
yeah, one of the Zelda games for Game Boy. So I open it up, I get home, oh, just the cases. But I figure, alright, so that sucks. Hey.
Oh
Then
no,
I figure,
dude.
well, at least I got my 3 games.
Oh no,
At least I got
dude.
3 games. You know, you got
That cardboard.
Oh,
Wait,
You've been
wait,
so now I have 3.
Game Boy game cases is what it
No,
says.
but hold on.
Game Boy
Game packs
not included.
Oh, you were reading that?
I have reading comprehension skills, Dan.
Each case holds 3 game
No,
packs,
look,
and there's
I
a
feel the
picture of
same.
me.
These, and
They fucked you.
Dude.
these look really realistic.
No, but in the case they look realistic.
They have Game Boy.
You know what's even better? You don't even have any Game Boy Advance games.
With
to put in
DS
there.
ones, you're right.
No.
DS ones are the little teeny. So
They're the cards.
that is completely useless to you. Hey Dan, you know what? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably
is paper.
I think it probably should. Video
So welcome to the video game segment this week. We got a couple of interesting trailers to talk about. One of them is Call of Duty 4. They just released the trailer, and it's going to be Modern Warfare this time, not World War II.
Oh, really?
This was Tom Clancy's Call of Duty 4, right?
It looks like it.
I was gonna say, I seriously was like, are we watching Ghost Recon 3 with the music from Battlefield 2?
It's the COD guys do Tom Clancy.
Dude, and it literally, the music is like dead on to the Battlefield 2 music. I mean, it's like ding, 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 ding.
But I will say
Go for it.
that I like this because I never really got super into the Ghost Recons.
But you loved COD.
And I love COD. I loved all of them.
Yeah.
I've beaten all of them. And Ghost Recon had the cam thing. Like, I like the idea of doing this a straight up first person shooter. This team doing, because I was getting a little bit sick of the World War II settings. And I always fantasize about how come we don't have. And Battlefield is more of a multi. You know, it's like they haven't really done Modern Warfare just straight up. The Tom Clancy ones, it's usually team-based, you know? It's like, I just want to do a straight up, and that's what this is. And
Well, that's what we think.
that's what the sense is. And
We
the
don't know
trailer,
if
the
they've-
terrorist plane
Yeah,
thing,
but
I'm
we
like,
don't know if now that they have opened the doors to the Tom Clancyism, that maybe it is squad-based. Maybe it is that you have 6 AI guys behind you. Maybe
I don't
you
think
are
it is.
calling-
COD was always sort of in a team. I mean,
Yeah,
it
but
was
you never
very
had any
scripted,
control
but-
over the team. I mean,
Right.
dude, but if they use this as a skin for the epic storytelling elements in Call of Duty, then this may blow Ghost Recon
Which
out
it
of the
seems
water.
like, because there's scenes that we see there that are like very story-oriented.
Well, we saw no gameplay
Well,
footage.
I think there's a little in there.
Yeah,
Seems like
none
there's
that
some.
I
it
saw.
looked like there was some to me.
All right.
I don't know.
I saw a lot of cutscenes, and I was like, a lot of running cutscenes.
I'm willing to give it a shot. It doesn't get my blood pumping.
No.
Unlike the other trailer that was released, actually 3 little mini trailers in conjunction with a MySpace thing, which is
Was that
MySpace for video
Max
game.
Payne 3?
I like it.
I'm Mr. Calls
Stranglehold.
shit out
Yeah.
day.
No, it's good.
Because I'm ready for innovation, man.
don't-
Bullet time.
It's
I don't know,
Stranglehold.
dude.
Stranglehold, John Woo's Stranglehold, which has been announced a while ago.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
But we got more gameplay. The same level. We've been seeing the same level over
Yeah.
and over. Which
The
was
tea
that-
house.
The tea house, right?
And maybe it was the compression on the trailer, but I actually had to ask you if it was a next-gen game because the graphics were so.
I think that was compression.
It's the
right?
Okay,
compression.
good. Because I was like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
some low-end graphics.
No.
I mean, 16.9. Maybe it's for the Wii. Sorry.
No, and they
I'm
released
just in
a demo,
pissy
didn't
mood,
you
I guess,
guys?
for video games today. I'm like, fuck those guys.
Didn't you see the demo? I thought I showed both you guys when they had
No.
the whole like 20-minute long.
that,
Yeah, and that was like mine was blown. I feel like that's a game I will pick up and play.
See, that I
whenever
missed.
I'm in-
I never saw that. This is the first I've seen
Oh.
for this game, which is
So
why
were
I
you-
said Max Payne 3.
I'm
you
Just
less
all
ex-
bullet
less
time.
excited?
No, I'm thrilled. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, it's like a combination. It's exactly what you want from a John Woo, where in the movies he's using objects in a way that you never thought he could, and actually, right? So cool. First time you saw it.
Doves.
And right, the doves.
Doves.
But doves were an American thing too. Were there doves in his Hong Kong stuff?
Yeah.
yeah.
Doves and everything.
All right, maybe
At one point, there was a
Hard
dove in the
boiled?
back
I don't think
smoking.
there's doves in hard boiled. Oh,
was
he
just
makes
a
the
wink
cranes.
to his
Anyway, but it's very like Tony Hawkish in a sense, where you can do combos and you
Well,
can
we hope. We don't
not
know.
in terms of like scoring point, whatever, but like
Scoring
and then
deaths,
you
maybe.
slide off the banister and then you jump on the
Saw that. That
chandelier
was
and you
cool.
went. And
Yeah.
these are all like elements to the game, like to the gameplay, not
But
to
now
the
the one thing,
scenario.
but you got to call out the pink elephant in the room, which is bullet time is the most overused. Actually, people stopped using it because it was so overused, and it's not been so long that it's now time to bring it back and be like kitschy.
It does look a lot like Max Payne.
Dude, it was Max Payne 3. It
But,
was like,
but it
bang,
comes,
bang, bang.
I feel like you can't really do a John. I mean, that comes from his filmmaking.
I get that, but maybe
So-
then he should have just gone.
I'm just hoping that the
I'm nervous.
I'm
Let's
just
put
hoping
it
that the gameplay itself isn't doing too much stuff for you. I don't want you to run up to a banister and then
Yeah.
it automatically hops onto the banister and slides me up.
Right.
I want to be in control of all that stuff. I don't
Yeah.
want it to like.
You want to choose to be
contact-
on the thing or context sensitive. Yeah.
Well, it's all. That's the new movement is context sensitive. So you just you're next to something and it automatically you don't have to worry about. And I want to feel like I'm stringing combos together. Like you
Right.
said.
Yeah.
I sense that it was like that from the demo, but
I hope.
maybe you're right. Yeah.
And the last bit of news this week was that Ken Kutaragi retired.
Mysteriously
from Sony.
retired to agree.
Yeah. So here's the thing I want to bring up about that because I think it's
Yeah.
been discussed to death on the internet.
Sure.
As much as you're an anti-Sony guy, kind of.
I was
Anti-PS3.
I'm an anti-PS3 guy because
I'm
I
getting
think
a little
they did
worried
it really
now.
wrong.
I was rooting for the 360 at the whole outset of this generation's console
Yeah.
war. But we don't want the 360 to win too bad. I mean,
No,
if
no,
Wii
no.
is winning, but we don't want the PS3 to lose to an extent that we lose competition in
Well,
the
it's
market.
like, and that's actually what people are talking about with NVIDIA. That a
Right.
lot of the stuff that's happening with NVIDIA is because ATI is so sucking right now that NVIDIA sits on its laurels. Like they haven't put out a stable Vista patch for their
Right.
lower end NVIDIA cards, and the answer is, well, why? What are you gonna buy, buddy? The new ATI? Maybe go buy a Magtrox Millennium.
Yeah.
From back in the day, you know what I mean? Maybe a
Voodoo FX
Voodoo FX will pop into your, So I agree wholeheartedly that I don't want them to win. I want them to win because I think they're better, but I don't want them to destroy Sony, which they
looks
can't.
like it's bad. I'm looking for an opportunity to buy a PS3, a reason to buy it.
We've had to talk you down from.
But they're literally. The most exciting game out there right now is Calling All Cars, which is a freaking $10 download game, What? It's like...
I never even heard
it's
of it.
David Jaffe, the guy who did God of War, did a downloadable game called Calling All Cars, which looks really fun. It's like it's almost like NBA Jam, but with cars, and it looks pretty cool.
Like old RC cars.
I can't, RC
know.
Pro, do you remember RC
Yeah,
Pro
RC
Am?
Pro-Am, Jesus.
You have to deliver a bad guy to his cage, and it's like multiplayer, and everybody's trying to do it at the same time, so it's like
fun.
scoring
Bumper
a basket.
cars.
Yeah.
Thing.
Well, that sounds cool. Definitely not worth $710.
Man, it's kind of worrying me that Sony mismanaging it so bad, but
I don't think it's really, I think that there have been
And who is Kenny
hundreds of
Kutaragi?
errors. And
he was the head of Sony Entertainment.
entertainment. Yeah,
I think he's the guy basically spearheading the PS3.
yeah.
So was he
And
maybe
heads are
making,
rolling.
but maybe he was the guy behind all the bad decisions.
Well, that's why he
Well,
may have
that's
got fired.
probably why I got fired.
But this is a good thing.
Right, it may be a good thing. Oh, I think it's a great thing because they need to do something. But I have a feeling it's weird because I really truly think that there was a string of horrible decisions, including like postponing it because of the fact that they wanted to put on like the 4-player choose thing as soon as the Xbox 360 came out. I mean, they basically pulled it all off and redesigned everything because of the Xbox 360, which is a mistake. You do your diligence, you put it out, and you let.
Well, also they had to
test
rush
the
to
time.
market early because of the 360. I think we would have had
360.
at least another year of PS2.
Development. Yeah, which
before-
we're getting now in the public eye, which is horrible.
Yeah, it's too
but hopefully it may take. May only. I mean, it is a great, powerful gaming system. You know what I mean? Like they are out at the situation where all they really need to do is go ka-chunk with a couple good things, and they may.
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
What? Who?
By the way, in Heroes,
yeah.
was she not playing Heavenly Sword?
Yeah.
That was a big
And
deal.
it looked
Yeah, it was a big-
sick.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
what?
I was
When?
oh,
Where?
what game is
Where?
that?
There
I
was
want
an
to play that
episode
game.
a few weeks ago, or before the big break where
They were playing Heavenly Sword on
she
purpose
and the little
for advertising.
yeah,
purposes.
Sony put in an unrevealed level of Heavenly Sword for them to play.
And it was
What-
just
what
awesome
episode?
looking. Parasite.
Jesus.
I watched them all in
You
one
watched one
thing, and I had the
yesterday,
titles.
yeah,
So, yeah.
Well, I don't know. Okay, I didn't
Totally right,
notice
dudes.
that. Yes,
Totally.
it is. All right, it is that time to break forth the rhythm and the rhyme, which we like to call the email section. Our first email, which is our only email. Hey guys, I'm turning 18 on May 3rd, and I'm kind of at a loss for stuff to do. Interesting. I'm homeschooled, so I don't know as many people as the average high school senior, but I have to do something for my birthday, right? Anyways, I need some rad suggestions. Patrick, that's how you wrote it. Anyway,
Patrick, you've come to the right place.
you've come to the rad place.
Oh,
Hey,
Oh.
I'm Mr. Punzel. Delicious. I'm like Rapunzel.
So
Anyway.
I'm trying to think. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, he's turning 18.
18's big, dude.
It's a
18.
big deal.
And didn't he ask did we ask what we each did on
Well,
our
maybe
18th
you should say
birthday?
what did you do on your 18th birthday?
I don't remember. But I remember what I did on my friend's 18th birthday, which was we got a stripper. I was in college, got a stripper come to our dorm room.
Yeah.
It was a little weird because I'd never done strippers before. Not that
Well,
I did.
18 is sort of the porn
It's
birthday.
the porn year, yeah.
Yeah, that was-
And gambling. But gambling, maybe Vegas.
No, gambling is Canada if you're 18. Or what?
No, it's 8. What? I love that you're like, I'm
Gambling
so
is
stupid.
21. Gambling's 21.
No, gambling's 18.
Gambling
Drinking's
is
21.
18.
What? Not
No.
Atlantic City.
Gambling is
Where I'm
21.
from.
No, gambling's,
Gambling's
21.
21,
What?
dude.
Well, Steve will say that.
Gambling's 21.
So
It's 21 because Joe and I went to
Yeah,
It's
on my
21.
21st, I went
Damn,
to
it's
Vegas.
21. It's like
What?
21.
I thought it was voting sex or voting porn.
Yes,
And
sex.
and-
you're correct.
and-
Doesn't happen until you're
and-
18. Why?
and
Did
some
you?
least.
people, no.
At least.
I was all like, baby.
Yeah, I remember my buddy and I. We went to a porn store in New Jersey. I guess we were afraid to do it in our home state.
Basically, all they have in New Jersey is porn
And it was
stores.
really. I made him go in and buy it.
It was the Shakey's.
And I like stayed. I had to hide in the car, and some dude was like casing my. It felt like some dude was. And I remember I grabbed my club. I was like holding on to my club. You know the club.
Oh, yeah,
In
yeah.
case it was
He had, like, a
my club.
caveman.
I got the caveman's like spiked club.
It was a little snaggle too.
I guess there was a rancor I could battle.
That was really good, the Rancor thing.
So-
Family Guy.
That was awesome. That was my 18th birthday. I don't know, man. Chuck E. Cheese is good times. But if you're
Wow,
an adult,
you said rad and 18, you go
balls, you
Chuck E.
have to play in
Cheese.
the balls.
Well, he may
Not
want someone to
going
play
there.
with his balls, but not.
Don't. That's why he gets the stripper.
That's what I'm saying. I vote for stripper.
It's not bad. I mean, first of all, sorry on the homeschooling thing, bro.
Yeah. Although you're probably
Maybe
really
props to
smart.
him.
He's probably really smart, but I don't know. Would you guys want to be homeschooled? I don't think I
I could
would.
dig it. I hated high school. Hated every minute of it.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
had a
but-
really horrible high school experience. So for me, homeschooling doesn't actually sound all that bad.
I can't imagine having a better homeschooling experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I
Whatever's a
can.
bad
I
high school
can.
experience made you the man you are today.
That is true. Because when I set foot on college, it was like, I'm going to have fucking balls out time in college.
So you went to
And
Chuck
I
E.
did.
Cheese.
Well,
And you played
not
in
those
balls.
kinds of balls.
I wish that our viewers could do something for Patrick because I think it
Oh,
would be cool.
yeah.
Like if did some sort of like
Throw, like, a
MySpace or
party or
virtual
something.
party. Like maybe if Patrick was in our
Well, where's
forums.
Patrick from? He didn't
He
write.
didn't write that. I wish we could find out.
I remember I had a
call
robot
him.
once came to my like fourth year.
Was it a
grade.
stripper
Fourth year
robot?
grade.
What's that? It was not a stripper bot.
Stripper bot.
No, it was just a
love
robot.
that. No, just a regular one.
Not one of those stripper ones.
I am not here for your pleasure.
I am not a pleasure bot. I am a normal bot.
We're not helping Patrick at all, other than
We
telling
are
him to
sort
get a
of.
stripper.
First off, he should send us his telephone number. We should call him.
That'd be
Right?
funny. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
call him. We'll all
call
call
him.
him.
Wish him a happy birthday.
If he sends us his phone number, we'll call him.
Yeah.
And
on
our
May 3rd.
users, like,
If
he
he
should
wants
be-
us to.
I know,
He might-
that'd be great.
like,
He doesn't send
yeah.
us his phone number. He's
Yeah.
like, nah.
Oh, you know what he
really
could do
not
on
all
May
that excited
3rd?
about that.
He could go see Spider-Man, right? Because it doesn't come out.
May 3rd?
5th, I thought.
Oh.
Anyway,
a couple days
But
later.
I do like the idea of the forums getting together, maybe like putting,
Yeah.
throwing a party or something,
That'd be
or
cool. See if
hiring
anybody
a stripper.
or you know what would be even cool is just sending like a massive e-card from everybody that
from
signs
the
it.
TRS fans.
That'd be fun.
That's really cool.
It's not like he's in the hospital. He really is just turning 18.
Yeah, but homeschool,
Well-
like he doesn't, he's got, he wants to have a big bang party, but he's got.
What do you mean? How does that have anything to do with being in a hospital?
I don't know. It's not like
Well,
we
it's
need
not
to,
like we need to,
like
raise
we all
the
the class all signs the card and we send it to the teacher who's in the
Dan,
hospital.
he came to us for help, and if
Yeah.
we don't go the extra mile,
It's not
and
that I don't want to help
Hey,
you.
and maybe he is in the hospital. There's nothing in this email that
This-
says
yeah.
he's not sick.
oh wait,
True.
P.S. I'm not in the hospital.
Oh, yeah. Oh, damn that PS. I totally. This is
Damn
why postscript
postscript.
sucks. So anyway, Patrick, hopefully that rambling mess of suggestions,
Helps you in some
mainly
way.
sexual in nature, will help you in your birthday party planning. And also, please send us your phone number. We'd love to give you a call and wish you a
Yeah.
happy birthday, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if that's even something that he would enjoy, but maybe he would, and maybe not. So whatever. But I also like the idea of the forums getting together and doing some stuff.
Yeah, so we'll see. What
Yeah,
happens.
and if you want to have your email read on the Totally Rad Show, please send us an email at fans@totallyradshow.com.
And don't forget to start doing domain names and send it to the same email address too, because
That
this
is-
shirt is pretty cool.
Yes, GoRaddy.com.
Go Ratty.
I love that you were there with me.
No.
It's not. No, I know we can't. There's like a little sizzling.
Also, we just mentioned our forums. Our forums are at our website, which is www.totallyradshow.com. Click on discussion forums, register.
Download the large QuickTime file.
Oh yeah, we've mentioned that in a while.
And the MySpace, hello. MySpace, I was like, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello.
Oh,
There's
hello.
always this rhythm, and then Dan's
Dan
like,
brings it to a halt. We are on the MySpace. We are not on Facebook yet.
Not yet.
Though we may.
We may.
My thing with the whole Facebook thing, you really want us to go to Facebook?
No, I don't.
I was on Friendster before MySpace, and everyone's like, run to... MySpace is great. It doesn't crash like Friendster does. Well, we all run on MySpace.
And it crashes.
And it crashed. Well, why not? There's a gazillion people on it.
Yeah. Facebook
built to not crash. Of course, when a gazillion people pop on Facebook,
Built to not crash.
I don't know, dude.
We'll see.
It's an ongoing
Plus,
debate.
what the? I have to
is.
start another profile. Like,
Oh, that's horrible.
well,
Oh my
They copy and paste.
Jesus! I gotta find a picture.
anyway,
we're on MySpace.
we are on
MySpace.
MySpace.
Where would that be?
motherfuckers. And that's myspace.com/totallyrad show.
That's right. And we'd love to thank our sponsors. First off, GoDaddy.com. If you want to register a domain, head to GoDaddy.com. Use the code TRS1, meaning TRS, whatever this is down here. And you get 10% off all your domain registration needs. And also, register domains that are so rad that we will think that too. And email us. And make sure you register at GoDaddy using the code. Send it on to us, and you may get one of these lovely shirts, which will be available for sale in the near future.
And Netflix also. Don't forget Netflix.
Yes, that's right. If you go over to www, then W's are important, .netflix.com/TRS, you can sign up for a 2-week free trial, and helps us when you do it. So go do it.
Great episode. Thanks for
That was awesome.
It was rad.
Forgot about that part. I kind of blew it. I love it. Sorry. Wait. First of all, I need to do this. Oh, God. You're going to blow it all around. Okay, ready? Ready?
Yeah.
What's happening? Stop us from doing that.
It's gonna
Help and do something.
Here, I got it.
What's going on? Get in.
Let it go. I think it wants to go.